Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading. This is a bonus reading. We are going to be looking at your next big change. You have this Uncharted Sea card and this Grateful card. This card reminds me of the Ace of Cups for obvious reasons, but I feel for a lot of you that there is a big change coming in for you. You have that Uncharted Sea card which says you are going places you've never been before, and I'm pretty sure this has come up for you before in readings with me, Scorpio, that you could be making, some big moves, or you could be stepping into like uncharted territory or exploring new directions in life. And I feel this will make you feel very grateful with that Grateful card, which is nice. And, there could be a lot of happiness because of it. So let's see what comes up. You start with the Magician. That's how you're entering into the reading. We're doing a Celtic cross here, and the Magician is a pretty good card for you to be, kind of represents like, let me put it this way. It's almost like popping into my head that this Magician is a little bit of like a wild card. That's how it's popping into my head right now, as in, I feel that you're kind of at this like choose your own adventure place in your life. I don't know, it feels good, Scorpio. But, the Magician, he has the powers of reinvention. He has this snake wrapped around his waist right here. It's a snake eating its own tail, which is the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. We have just entered a period symbolized by the energy of the snake very recently, and I'm recording this a little before you're watching it. So, basically, by the time you're watching this video, we have just entered into that energy. And I think this period could be all about reinvention for people, and you could definitely be making some big changes. I will say that you are the first sign that I've read for so far. I've done about 4 readings so far, and you are the first sign where it really looks like a big change, right? It's like the other signs, it's like, yeah, they had changes, but I wouldn't say that they were like significant changes. Again, that Uncharted Sea card would be some sort of significant change, and the Magician would be a significant change that you are making to yourself. So you could be expressing yourself in a new way, or you could be kind of like changing yourself in some way, and the Magician would say that is very good. Next, for your crossing energy. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you. You have the Star card. I kind of feel both energies here. Like, I feel good, and I feel like this could be a little bit of a challenge. I feel the challenge here with the Star card is inspiration. Like, some of you might be lacking the inspiration motivation, right? It's like sometimes I think we are looking for an answer about something that we're working on. So like, if we're wanting to work on a business, sometimes I think we go and look for proof that it's actually going to work if we start whatever we're starting. And so it's like I feel like that type of inspiration is lacking a little bit here. I really don't have any good advice other than to just take the first step, right? Just to get started on what you're doing. I do also feel good about this because, again, I like the positive side here. I feel you could be getting a lot of attention for the changes you're making with the Magician. You also have the Empress here as well, showing up in the area of your future feelings, like literally feeling like you are getting positive attention showing up in that area of the reading. So if you have a job or a career that requires attention, I would definitely do whatever you can to get extra attention at this time. You have the Five of Wands in the area of your thoughts. So the Five of Wands is conflicted energy, can represent conflict, or it can represent, fighting. The Five of Wands, I really don't think it's a bad card. These people on this card, they're using sticks to fight, they're not using swords, so they are learning how to fight. And I feel, number one, that you have learned a lot through conflict in the past. And I think the good news here is that you have learned how to avoid conflict. Your outcome is literally the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords, he is avoiding conflict, and we will talk about that when we get there. The other thing I feel here is that you are conflicted about when to make a move, or if you should make some sort of move in life. And the answer is right now. We go down to the Emperor and the Knight of Swords. We have the Emperor and the Empress. For some of you, this could be making a move in love. So if you have your eye on a person, I would make a move. I feel that going down to that Knight of Swords that you're worried about moving too quickly. But really, I don't feel bad about that Knight of Swords. I am not the biggest fan of the Knight of Swords. To me, he is rushing. To me, he is making a hasty decision. But I actually feel pretty good about him in your reading. And we will clarify, we'll see what comes up. But, I do feel it's kind of like saying it's time to make a move in the area of your foundation. You have the Four of Swords. I love fours in the foundational position, because 4 is a foundational number, so I feel for a lot of you, you are just building a solid foundation in life. Four of Swords is a great card for resting, relaxing, recovering. It's also a great card to ask for things. He is hoping and praying for blessings. There's a person right here, who is blessing another person in this stained glass window. So I feel it would be a great time for you to ask for whatever it is that you want in your life. For some of you, it could be like a divine counterpart going this way. For others, it could just be anything that you're asking for, but I would ask. Next, in the area of what you are moving past, your past position, you have this explosive situation card. It says the destruction will allow new growth to emerge, to shape a new future. It's like you're stepping into a new future here. You have this divine intelligence. It says to connect with your higher self, you must first create space to listen. So, yes, I feel a lot of you have been creating a lot of space to listen to your intuition or your inner voice, and that's exactly what I would do here, with these cards. And I do feel like you're letting go of some sort of explosive situation. You also have the Hierophant in the past position. The Hierophant is interesting because he can represent inside-the-box thinking or a certain way of living your life. And so a lot of you could be thinking more outside the box now. You could be making new decisions or moving in new directions that are different than what you normally would have done in the past. So I feel pretty good about this because, again, the Hierophant, he's not really considered a card of being stuck, but he can kind of be stuck because he only has like a set way of doing things in his life. And he follows those rules and he sticks to that, that way of doing things, and that's it. So sometimes I feel the Hierophant is about thinking outside the box, but it looks like you are. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this forgiveness card and this release card. I feel a lot of you need to forgive the past and release the past. Again, North Node in Pisces, right? I think all water signs could be going through a period of time at the beginning of the North Node in Pisces here, where we really need to let go of our past connections. I also feel it's really important that we kind of like change our story. The North Node is considered like your destiny, and in a lot of ways, I think that with the North Node in a water sign, all water signs should be looking at their story and should be saying like, these are the things I want, these are the things I don't want. And then you need to use your mouth right here to say, start only talking about the things you want. Tell the good story. Don't tell the story of the people that did you dirty, or just anything like that. Maybe it's like you don't want to eat peas anymore in your life, and you're like, I'm never eating peas again in my life. Don't talk about it, right? Leave it in the past and release it. So we really have like a long period of time to do this and to make sure we're telling the right story. So that's what I would do if I were a water sign, and I am, so there you go. You have the Emperor showing up in the very near future. Definitely could be attracting an Emperor and Empress, whatever you prefer. You have both here, so this could be a divine counterpart. I do feel like this could be moving a little quickly if you are attracting love here because of the Knight of Swords. Really, it feels good to me, so I don't know. It's like, yeah, sometimes we tell ourselves we're going to go slow and then it goes fast and, whatever happens, happens. But it still looks good, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. The Emperor can also say it's time to pay very close attention to opportunities coming your way. He has his armor on underneath his cloak here, and his armor on underneath his cloak says that he needs to be ready for any opportunities at a moment's notice. So there could be like opportunities in work or business, that kind of like pop up, and I would be ready to take advantage of those opportunities. Next in your outcome row, you have this travel card. It says, embarking on a journey could be your path to wealth, as abundant opportunities await you out in the world. So I would definitely be getting out into the world. I encourage everyone to do this right now. We have like so much energy that is encouraging people to explore, and that's where you're going to find wealth, like ideas or other ways of doing things. That's what I would be looking for. You have this retreat card. It says, sometimes taking a break is the best thing you can do to gain clarity and a fresh perspective. So maybe you need a vacation. Maybe you need a break just in general so you can gain a new perspective. Over the next few months, you have the Knight of Swords again. I do feel if you're attracting a person, it could move very quickly. It doesn't really feel bad to me, but I would also say, make sure to like pay attention and, do all those things, take your time. I also feel you're building a lot of momentum. Again, I really do feel good about this Knight of Swords. I'm trying to find a problem with it, right? But I can't. Just intuitively, I feel pretty good about this card. I feel like you're making progress, building momentum, and kind of like things could be speeding up because of it. I think we're in an amazing time to build momentum, and that's exactly what I would do with that card. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, this is all relationships in your life, you have the Moon card. I would be careful of people who are like approaching you with emotional armor. We have this lobster right here, and the lobster is crawling out on land, but, lobsters don't do very well on land. On the Moon card, it's kind of like a warning to the fool on his journey that he needs to approach things from a place of vulnerability. It's like we have to be willing to be vulnerable to let something be successful. If we're too much of a lobster, if we're wearing too much armor, then we never get to experience the full emotions of whatever it is that we're doing. And the Moon encourages us to release our emotional armor. And so I would do that, number 1. Number 2, I would be careful of people that are like porcupines in life, the people that are just too spiky and are kind of like pushing you away and all that other stuff. I would be careful of that with the Moon. I would also say that, with the Moon card, I would avoid people who are not like very clear, I would avoid people that like play games and do things like, one thing that drives me nuts is when people are like, hey, I need you to call me, I have to tell you something. It's like, no, I am definitely not going to call you now, because if you can't tell me what you need, then that's it, I'm done, right? I don't put up with it. I don't play that game. It's like, no, that drives me nuts. Or the other thing that drives me nuts is people that are like, I have something to tell you, but I can't. I'm like, okay, then you can get your ass out my door, right? Goodbye. So I feel for a lot of you this is like, be careful of those little games that people play. And that's it. Next, in the area of your future feelings, very good, you have the Empress. The Empress is about feeling very beautiful right now. It doesn't matter what gender you are either, you're very beautiful at this time. Scorpio. I must have said Capricorn, so it could be a Capricorn that you're attracting into your life. I also feel that you're feeling very abundant and like you can get attention. The Empress doesn't have to like struggle to do anything either, Scorpio. Like she is just waving that scepter in front of her, and the wheat in front of her is growing. So she doesn't have to like struggle to make something happen. And that's really what I would be paying attention to with the Empress. It's like, are there activities that you do in work or business or career where you don't really have to struggle, they just kind of like happen? And that's what I would be focusing on with that card. You have the 7 of Swords. Like I said, I feel you are avoiding conflicts. He is stealing these swords from this army in the background here so that he doesn't have to go to war. So he is avoiding potential conflict with that army in the background, and really, I feel that's what you have learned. I feel you have learned how to avoid certain conflicts in your life. I also feel like you've learned better ways of doing things. He is going to war, but just in a better way. Instead of going to war, he's stealing the swords from that army. So again, a lot of you could be discovering better ways of working or operating in life, and that could be very good as well. So love it. With the Magician and the this is the Star, you have the 5 of Wands again. So again, I feel, with the Magician and having the 5 of Wands in your thoughts, this would represent making sure that you're using the right tool for the job. The Magician has mastery over all the suits in the tarot, and so the 5 of Wands can say if you feel like you're forcing something, or if you feel like there's competition. And, the Magician is about reinvention, but he could be saying that you could be reinventing yourself so that you can stand out from the competition. And maybe that's what you're doing here, Scorpio. That could be your next big change, is that you're doing things to set yourself apart from the competition, and that would be great. With the 5 of Wands, you have the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, there could be some sort of conflict that you need to release from the past. So, again, if you've dealt with a conflict or an issue or a challenge like from a person from the past or something, I would definitely be letting those things go so that you can set yourself free with the 4 of Pentacles. And that's really all I'm getting. With the 4 of Swords, you have the Tower. I mean, it really wouldn't be a Scorpio reading at this point without the Tower. The Tower is coming up in the foundation position. The Tower gets reduced down to its foundation as well, and which is actually a good thing. We always rebuild the Tower back a lot stronger after a Tower moment. But with the 4 of Swords, you could be healing from a Tower moment. I really don't feel bad about this. You have the Star card here as well, which, represents healing from a Tower moment. You get the Tower with me every single reading. I mean, you can't even make it up, so there you go. With the Hierophant here you go, you have the Magician twice. The Magician is pointing to the Star, the Magician, and the 5 of Wands. So the thing with the Magician with the Hierophant is that, again, the Hierophant is like set rules that you follow. He is teaching those 2 people in front of him his belief system. He is indoctrinating those people into his belief system. The Magician is like, no rules. The Magician is like, I will make something work any way I can. I will use whatever tool is necessary for the job. So I would definitely say that this energy would be encouraging you to be a little bit more flexible in life, which comes up for all fixed signs in the first place. But also like, don't be afraid to break the rules, especially if they're not really rules. Like, I'm not talking about breaking the law here. Someone always takes it there. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is there are rules for everything that aren't really rules that we should be breaking anyway. So, I don't have a good example, but whatever, put your thinking cap on. With the Emperor, you have the King of Cups. Yeah, definitely could be a water sign coming in for you, although Capricorn popped into my head over here. So, whatever, take it how it resonates, could be any sign. But, the King of Cups is someone who has very stable emotions. The King of Cups is a person who has explored their emotions to a very deep level. And so sometimes I think the King of Cups people, they almost come off as emotionless, but that's not true. They've just explored their emotions so deeply, and they know how they feel about things that it's like this is not the type of person that's going to be crying on your shoulder every 2 seconds, right? It's like they are very much in control. So you could be attracting a person who's very much in control of their emotions. I also feel that this could be you controlling your emotions with the Moon card showing up here. We said that you have to release emotional armor, and so a lot of you could be it's like, I don't think you're letting your guard down. It's not like you're not putting up boundaries and things like that, but I do feel we have to risk being hurt to be in a connection that is going to be successful in the first place. Again, if you're too guarded, then the person never gets to really know you as who you are. So we have to, take the risk of getting hurt, and that's the only way we can have a successful relationship. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Hermit. I feel that some of you do need to come out of hermit mode a little bit here. I also feel that this is kind of like explaining the Knight of Swords rushing energy to me. If you have been in hermit mode, and if you're attracting a person who has been in hermit mode, it's almost like both of you, it's like there's a release here is what I feel. It's like two people who have been stuck in hermit mode finding each other. It's like you're each other's perfect person, and then it's like you both go crazy. It's like, imagine if you've been stuck on a desert island for a long time and you've barely had any food, and then you get set free in the most amazing buffet ever. That's like what's happening here in my head. So I hope that makes sense. It's almost like two people who have been unleashed on each other. So that's about as much as I can tell you on YouTube nowadays. So there you go. But this could also be something else, like if you haven't had something for a very long period of time, like whatever it is that you've been lacking, it's almost like you could be going a little bit nuts here. It's like that's such a weird feeling for that card, but that's what I get. So there you go. With the Moon can make this up, you have the Queen of Cups. So divine counterparts. This will be a very emotional connection, I would say. It could also be a very intuitive connection. It's like these two can read each other's minds. So, in a lot of ways you could be attracting a person where it's like you don't even talk to each other. It's like maybe you just speak telepathically with this person. So it could be a really strong connection that's coming in for you here, also a very strong emotional connection, probably in a good way. So if you want love, this looks amazing. If you do want love, and even if you don't want love, again, this is very strong emotional energy. So I would make sure that you are using your emotions in a positive way, and make sure that you are healing and following your heart with the Queen of Cups as well. With the Empress, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, celebration coming in for you. This would be people celebrating you as well. We literally said it at the beginning of the reading that with that star card, the Magician, and the Empress, that there's going to be a lot of attention. I would make sure just to surround yourself with people who support you and you will be fine. Nope. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups can represent a gift from the universe. It can actually represent like a turnaround, and it can say that you've been bumping up against an obstacle for a very long period of time, and now you are removing an obstacle from your life. So that looks amazing. The Six of Cups can also represent like a very playful, childlike connection. So again, very strong connection. You have this Boat card. It says money or property through an inheritance, winning, or windfall. That's amazing. That could be one of your next big changes, is like money coming in for you. So I like to see that. We don't actually see very much money in the reading, except, the Empress could represent money or abundance. You have the Scales card. Says keep your life in balance. With all the emotional stuff here, again, it could be an emotional time for you, like especially in the time ahead, basically, I would say, which is probably true for all water signs. Water signs could be feeling a little bit more emotional or, things could be going on. North Node in Pisces, Venus is going to go retrograde from Aries into Pisces. We have a lot of stuff. There's a ton of energy moving through Pisces. Saturn, Neptune's going to leave, later on, basically, Neptune's going to leave Pisces, but it will retrograde back into Pisces. And then we have a bunch of other planets that are making their way through Pisces. So it could be an emotional time for water signs. I would just make sure, with all these emotional cards, that you are balancing your emotions or expressing your emotions. You have this face card. Says secret admirer. I feel like you are the secret admirer here, Scorpio. I mean, it could be another person, but, if you have your eye on a person, I would do something. I feel like I've been saying this to you for like a year now. It's like, learn how to flirt, learn how to throw pieces of paper at a person to get their attention. I don't know, like go figure something out, because I feel like there's definitely love here. But, if you are the secret admirer, you're going to have to do something to make this happen. You have this coins card. Says money will be coming to you. Love it, amazing. Now you have like several money cards, so definitely could be a positive financial change. And you have this inkpot card, says problems to be resolved. This card represents like small issues, but it kind of represents those small issues that sometimes stop us. So don't get upset by those like tiny little things that really don't matter. And, keep pushing towards your goals, basically. But this looks really good, Scorpio. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your time ahead.